Hello, everybody. Hi. I'm going to put some lipstick on. That brightens my face up a little bit. There we go. Some nice lipstick. I know my hair was okay yesterday. It's kind of crazy today, but no worries. Welcome. It's a new moon in Pisces. Going to talk a little bit about the new moon in Pisces and just a little bit about the history. I'm going to just sort of touch on that. Good morning, Tanya. I'm not going to try and keep you guys here too long, but it's kind of like history class with mama. So a little bit on that. I just sort of briefly went through some stuff, and there's so much more to go through. I mean, with this moon is this new moon in Pisces is a couple degrees away from Jupiter. And it is kind of like this Pisces. Pisces is a sign of so much. So Pisces, we have chaos, we have illusion, we have disillusionment, multi and interdimensional coexisting realities. It has, the confounds, paradoxes, there's spirit, divine love, psychic sensitivity, sometimes leading to overwhelmness. So there's, there's a lot with this. There's endings, surroundings. This is a new evolutionary impulse. The last time we've had this energy in Pisces, especially with Jupiter and Neptune, was in 1856. Now, a lot happened in 1856. It wasn't not only in North America, in the United States, but we also had a war in the area where there is a war now. There was, and to understand what was happening there with the Ottoman Empire and with the British Empire and the wars that were coming on, at that time, had to do with commodities, had to do with trade, had to do with, it wasn't just borders. It had to do, how can I get my stuff to where I need it to get to? The Ottoman Empire, with the war with that, in around the Turkey area. This was, getting access to the Mediterranean. I want to get my stuff out. I want to get access and get things going because, there was no planes. You used basically a train or horse and buggy or ships. And also with opening up ports in along China at that time. And this was also bringing in the Opium Wars, which is really kind of funny because now we have like a fentanyl where opium was being brought in to China as a trade. So opium was used as a trade because people wanted to keep their commodities. They didn't want to trade all their silver and gold for things like and stuff. I'm right in the middle of something, and
can I play my game?
No, you cannot go.
Okay.
So this is coming in with so much because it's in Pisces. Pisces is that dual fish. It's like the fish is kind of like circular, like, or a boomerang. Things come in, things go out. So there's a lot of similarities of what happened in 1856 and then going into where Neptune is into 1938 and the Munich agreement with Chamberlain and Hitler. So we have this energy of, all of this coming in right up to the signing of the Declaration of Independence in the United States and the coexistence of what the United States is. So this is a new evolutionary impulse is arising as the past dissolves. And now it multiplies that by 10 times with Jupiter. So Jupiter, whatever is going on, he's going to multiply it by 10 times. He's going to make it bigger than what it usually is. And he touches and adds a dose of mystery and deception and confusion. And then we have the sun and moon. And Jupiter are all heading towards Neptune, the great magician, right? He is the magician. Look at me. Here I am. And we know the magician can be very much a trickster. Look at this, look over here, watch this over here. Do you see what's going on over here? As I'm doing this over here, you don't see because I'm having you go over here. You don't see that I'm trying to bring something up over on the other side. So Neptune moving through his home, this is his home, sign of Pisces, is completing a 165-year cycle. And he will complete this in April of 2025. Jupiter's moving through there. This is the last sign indicating endings. It's a 12-year cycle. It's indicating a huge ending. It's closing this cycle. And taken together with the sun, who is closing a 1-year cycle, because 1 year, to get around before we start spring. Spring is the astrological new year. This is the month on, that we're closing it. And who is closing this 1-year cycle this month on the 20th? And we see the reflections of what is happening here below on earth and within our own psyches in the starry realms above. So the interesting paradox of all of this is that many ways of life and beliefs and understanding are ending. There is a Venus, Mercury, Mars are setting up on a new cycle with Pluto and Saturn, respectively. So we have both an ending of the old, this beginning of a new occurring simultaneously. That's why it's so chaotic. That's why there's so much there. When we're looking at what, in the Muggle world, when we come down into the Muggle world and we're looking at what's coming down, it has to do with resources. It has to do with trade, how much we are trading, how much we are getting out there. With Russia, I mean, there is a push for renewable sources. To make those renewable sources, we need lithium. Where's lithium mined? Not only in Russia, but in China as well. And we want to go green. We want to be connected with the earth. We want to be reconnected with the earth. Yet within doing this is a total disconnection and destruction of the world. There is a resource that is there, and it's oil and gas. And the oil gas is there, and it is very flowing, and it's very, we can make it a source that brings in a lot. I mean, I know there's arguments on both sides, but I'm just trying to get you into the realm of things. So this is where we're looking at a lot of the different energies and connecting. And there's a shadow with Venus coming out of shadow and connecting with gifts and connecting with our relationships and looking at the truth of it all. Like, it's like coming through out of the darkness, and we're seeing, okay, that isn't where I'm wanting to go. I am heading into the direction I need to when it comes to my relationships, and that hot intensity that's coming in there, and money comes into the realm as well, and how we're seeing with the money and with projects. Now we can go back with all these sanctions that they're putting on Russia, and you have to take a deeper look on, all right, what happens when we take him out of the SWIFT? And he can't pay his bills. Can't pay his bills. Can't pay those people who owe, that he owes money to. Canada, United States, other countries. So, this is all about the commodities. It's all about the trade. It's all about who's holding the most. And also what's coming in with all of this, especially with the Neptune and Pisces and that, is belief systems. What is your belief system is not the same belief system as somebody over in the Middle East or somebody in, even in Russia. Your belief systems are totally different. And what they stand for. We're coming to the end of an era where we were at within 1856 and going into a prelude of, say, World War I, where it was honorable to go. Your Christian beliefs were there, and that energy of Christian beliefs, and that is slowly, it's changing, right? You went to war and you were a hero. This is where we're looking at. It's like, you're not, this is not what we're looking at now. And when we're seeing the ending of things, like even in 1856 was the Treaty of Paris. It was the end of the Crimean War, which was in the same areas where the war is being coming in at this time with Russia. in the Ukraine. And you're hearing, it's funny, it's like you're hearing prayers for Ukraine, prayers for Ukraine, prayers for Ukraine, a very Christian oriented energy arising up with all of this, which is very in alignment as well. Now, the reason I'm bringing this all up is that I want people, and I'm sort of going through this very quickly. There's a lot more details in all of this, in the different things or the different energies that came in. I mean, even back then in 1856, the amount of things that were happening. We had the beginning, they were in the middle of the gold rush in California. California was going to become a state, in 1856. We also have the Chinese coming into San Francisco, making opium dens, and San Francisco becoming the opium, sort of place, the place of drugs and the place of where we saw it again in the 60s, right? So this is where this energy is coming in and getting us to really take a look at what is completing within our own lives. So we're coming back down and looking at our own lives and looking at our own what is happening, within our own psyche, and all the interesting paradoxes that are in so many ways of our life and our beliefs and our understandings are ending. And they're ending, and this new cycle is coming in, this new cultivation is coming in, and it's bringing in this awareness, bringing in awareness for you and for me, and saying, okay, this is an ending of something. Not sure what the new beginning is or what that really looks like, because we are in Pisces, and it is very, of course, it's very watery. So, and we have Uranus there. So during this time, such as these, it is difficult to predict much more than to say that things will become clearer next month when the sun moves into Aries. For now, I'm going to say that much of what we will be experiencing this month depends on your stage of evolution, where you are at within your own development spiritually. A lot of people are still in the Saturnian energy, which is Saturn rules Capricorn and it rules Aquarius. And when we look at this Saturnian energy, it is one that, here I am, I want external authorities. It's about institutions seeking guidance. And then we have sort of the conscious stage, which is, I'm going to say maybe 20% of the population. And this is where it is a spiritual force. This is, the spiritual force that is coming in, because Pisces manifests as deception and chaos and disillusionments and disappointments, as the invisible, intangible spiritual forces are intertwined with all of this, and the guide and the influence of worldly events are mind-blowing in many ways. The external authorities fall off and their pedestals, leaving these folks confused and uncertain. And that's very much the Saturnian energy within the, with the ones with the conscious stage, is individuals who take border or more creative and optimistic view of the situations. They're the people that look at the chaos and they see it, but they look at it at making the best of these challenging times and seeking liberation from it. That's an extremely important piece of this, and from the old, and looking at more willing to experiment and take chances. This is it, as I mentioned at my in my morning meditation group, coming together at this time is huge. Huge inventions happened at this time. Innovative things were happening at this time. I mean, innovations when it comes to flight in planes, to how our ships are run. We had innovations on computer systems, radar. So many advances were coming in at that time, in around World War II. And we had, and a lot of people took these innovations and really saw them. And, in amongst things that were still, however, maybe confusing or internal confusion and frustration at the lack of control, they have their own destiny as their external forces. They took control of that within their life to create something. I mentioned Walt Disney. I mean, whoever thought that a mouse would be an icon? you know uh, this is an idea that someone had, and people thought it was crazy. Why do you think Donald Duck wears a sailor suit, right? you know it's that innovation. It's showing people, to come together in that harmony. It's also getting us out of our head, and allowing ourselves to flow with the energies of the current of the water, and still keep our heads above water. This is a very spiritual time. And when we are going through spiritual transformation and change, it's chaotic. And especially with this new moon. This new moon is very powerful. It is a powerful moon to create the changes that you want to create within your life. This is a time of looking at the external forces and the institutions and authorities still limit their choices and opportunities. We are seeing that, when we look at corporations have been around. I mean, look at going back to 1856, to when the British, when they went into India, basically was taking over from a corporation. India was run by a trading company, a Dutch trading company. That's what India was run by. It was run by a corporation. Everything, how the systems and everything that was being run was basically run through a corporation. Now we're seeing many different institutions being taken over by corporations and run by the way that they are setting up their corporations. So when we start to see, and we're aware of these similarities, when we're aware of these transgressions that are happening within our world and the chaos that is happening, we can see it. We can see it and say, oh, I don't have to go into those delusions. I don't have to go into that. I'm going to take a step in a broader view of what exactly is happening. And lastly, there is a spiritual stage of Neptune. And these folks are one in the process of moving from their individual head to their compassion and their loving heart. They will be feeling the feelings of the collective and the unconscious, which is experiencing great sorrow and pain. This is where, when we're feeling what is her name? Marara, and her inhibit suffers. The spiritually attuned teachers and healers have their heads and their hearts full, as they tend to carry the load and seek to assist, sometimes rescue and save. There's a very small portion of the population that is there. We discuss, as we discuss some of these abilities to hand over their desires, feelings, and desires to the higher power. And this is within each of us. And as we personally understanding, acceptance, and devotion gained through spiritual willpower, strength, and within minimizing the chaos and offer refuge and serenity to those that need it. This is a time that we really have to see the players at hand and take note of exactly what is going on. There is no winners or losers in war. War is a horrendous thing. Doesn't matter. But when we can come together with compassion and love to create something that is better, something that is more in alignment with our heart energy, and begin to create what it is that we truly want to create, the energy, the magic is there, because that is what Neptune in Pisces is. It's magic. It is the magician. What do you want to create? What does that look like? What do you want to tap into in amongst the chaos and the craziness and feeling the sorrow? This is where we come through to minimize the chaos and offer them refuge and serenity and peace, and even through troubled times. We give it up to the Holy Spirit or whoever it is that you want to give it up and ask for inner peace and a miracle through it all. We are going through huge changes, and we are going to be going through these changes for some time. I told many people at the beginning of this year of the combination that I had it. I had a combination of Alice in Wonderland meets Fantasia. Fantasia is about this novice, Mickey Mouse, who has to learn the basics, has to learn things, and tries to do it on his own, and it causes more trouble. Alice goes into a world that is unknown to her. It's unbelievable. The craziness and the crazy rabbit. I'm late. So we're heading into this energy, but yet we can see it. We still have to be the novice of learning and understanding so that we can keep our heart open to the transgressions that are happening in the world at this time and be able to come into the peace and the harmony with it. This is a time that is, weirdly enough, it's echoing through the universe and it's coming back like a boomerang effect. So what has gone out is coming back, but it's coming back with looking in a little bit differently than what it was before. And this is where there's, power plays right now. And what you see on the media, remember the media is controlled by Neptune. Neptune is the god of disillusionment and illusion. What you are seeing may not all be true. So you have to take the step back and go to your heart. You have to take the step back and see, is this truly, truly what it is that I am seeing? Because there is so many other players at play right now. And it's when you sit back and you look at it and you look at the economics of it, the world's always run on some kind of economy. Always. Economy and trade is ruled by Mercury. Commerce. That's the way. Even in Neolithic times, I mean, they had to trade something. They were trading their furs for maybe that guy who had the axe. I need that axe. He created an axe out of flint. I need that arrow to help to kill, the woolly mammoth. This is the commodities and the trade, and that have always been there. But we can create the commodities and trades in new ways and through a way that could be more in alignment with the harmony. But the biggest trade right now, we are seeing it, and we're seeing how things are changing. And we have to take a real look at the world and how things are flowing. So as we have this Jupiter, some of the things that you're going to be seeing, seeing over, especially as Mars gets closer. It will be right. Mars is going to be right on top of Pluto tomorrow. You're going to see some things exploding. We're going to see huge explosions. We're going to see disruptions happening even more. We're going to be seeing these things because through the chaos comes greatness. Through the chaos, we're going to see the changes. It's how we deal with those changes, and how we deal with it will determine our steps forward in all of this. And that's why this new moon is having you to really take a personal look at where you want to go, a personal look at your truth and your desires. And this is really having you come into this place, come into this divinity of self. It is so important, right? And staying with the light. Exactly, Declan Joe. It's staying with that light. It is staying within our harmony. And we are going to be swayed. We are going to be swayed in so many different ways. I'm neither for Putin nor for the president of, and I can't pronounce his name, of Ukraine. Neither of them are good players. Both of them have their evil side. Just saying. But of course, in our world, we want the heroes, and we want the evil, and we want the heroes to stand up to being the hero, to being this of who we want. But sometimes, and I'm going to say this, sometimes we're going to see who you thought was the hero is not the hero. Remember, I've said that before. Who you thought was so pretty and so wonderful may not be that of what you think. So you have to come in within your own clarity in your own heart. It's so, so important. We're going to see a lot that happened in 2004, and we're going to hear, about, is this a red light, a green light, or a yellow light? And you're going to hear these things. And we're going to hear things about DEFCON 2 and DEFCON 3. And what alerts that we're on. We're going to be hearing that. That's part of the change and the energies that are coming forth. And yes, they are scary. Yet, through this all, there is a higher power. There is a synchronicity that is coming in. And in this Piscean energy, it is the end. It is the end of the astrological signs. So it has to do with a lot of karma. I know when I see people whose 12th house is filled with a lot of planets, I'm like, whoa, you've come in to work with a lot of karma in this lifetime. You've come in to really work on some heavy duty stuff. And in doing that, in dealing with that, it is your life can be hindered in many different ways through dis-ease, through economic stress, through just having a lot of chaos because you've come in to work out a lot more of your karma in the 12th house. We as a world are working out our karma. Our karma of what happened in 1856. If you think about it, the British Empire wanted to trade, they wanted the silk and the spices. So they traded opium to China. What do you think that's like a drug dealer coming up to your door and saying, I'll give you this for all of that? Well, we're seeing it as a switch because fentanyl is coming into the United States because it's the new empire. And where's the fentanyl coming from? China. It's an awareness. Border issues. Where are they having border issues right now? In the United States on their southern border. Same similar things that were happening in 1856. Where forced borders were being had within China. China was being forced. So we're seeing a lot of craziness, that had happened before, but it's coming in reversed in many ways. It's that universal boomerang of karma, I guess you'll say, that's happening. Same with what people are calling, Putin the new Hitler. Well, then you got to go to where Uranus is. And Uranus in 1938 at 17 degrees had the south node there. The north node was in Scorpio. Now we have the north node there. Neptune was in the opposite side. Neptune was in Virgo at the time. So we had a lot, the players were in opposite positions. So again, who you think is your ally may not be the ally. It might be reversed. And you got to take a step back and really go, that's interesting. That's interesting. So today, it's a cultivation. Today, we have to come into our serenity and our peace. And even in these troubled times, to give it up to the Holy Spirit. Trust in your ideas. Trust in these new doors that are going to open for you to walk through them. They might seem chaotic. They might seem you're not too sure. But if you're trusting within your divine and you're trusting truly in that inner gut, it's going to lead you. And this isn't a time to be in your head. You got to come out of your head. Neptune does not rule with his head. Neptune rules with his heart. So the heart chakra, the solar plexus, the sacral, that's what he rules with. You get into your head, the magician will fuck you up every single time because he's a trickster. And he'll know you're in your head. So he'll know the moves that you're going to make before you even make them because you're in your head. But when you're in your heart, it's a harder one because you're going within your truth and your desires and the alignment with your divine. So step forward on this day, step forward in your glory. There is ancient energies that are coming in that for willpower that are coming in. Willpower is the ultimate spiritual weapon. And stepping into your willpower, stepping into your strength at this time. So sending you guys out so much love. I am still, if you are wanting to come into the tarot class, it starts tonight. It's $99 for 5 weeks. I do take payment plans. If you wish to join me tonight, come on. It starts at 7:30 this evening. All classes are on Zoom. They are recorded, so you can get a copy of it. Also, the new meditation started yesterday. We meet at 8 o'clock every morning. And if you want to join us in a meditation for joy and bliss, that is what we are doing every single morning. And it's usually about 30 minutes, from 8 to 8:30. And then and it's recorded too. So if you miss it, it'll get sent out. And also I'm taking bookings. So if you are wanting to book in a one-on-one with me, let me know. And we'll get you in, baby. So have a blessed day, and may the Lord and the Lady watch over and bless each and every one of you in all you say, in all you be, in all you do. Blessed be everybody, and we will talk to you all tomorrow. So have a blessed day. Happy new moon. Bye-bye.